Before the news starts, we would like to remember all those who have given their lives for the freedoms that are enjoyed by all those in the US and American citizens living abroad. Without those valiant sacrifices, this video would not have been possible. Hello and welcome to Marco's Marvel Monday Movie News on Marvel Movie Fan for May 18, 2015. Just to let you know, if you can see the annotation, then you should be able to skip the story by clicking on the annotation on the right. You can go to a previous story by clicking on the left side, or choose a story by clicking on the Marvel Movie Fan icon. Also, we will indicate spoilers with the spoiler sign. Now let's move on to the news I missed. Marvel's Avengers Age of Ultron has made over $1 billion worldwide. It will still make a little more money after the Japan release in July. Ant-Man has a new LEGO set coming out. This set is called Ant-Man Final Battle. Many people believe that this is a spoiler and that Hank Pym is going to be the true villain because he is in a darker Ant-Man suit. This is considered misnews because the LEGO set was first shown in February, but resurfaced this week with this speculation. ComicBookMovie.com shared an article from Empire Magazine that was about Ant-Man. Empire spoke with director Peyton Reed and actress Evangeline Lilly. They spoke about Reed taking over for Edgar Wright. He shared that there is no animosity between him and Wright. He also mentioned that there is a possibility that Falcon might make an appearance. When talking to Lilly, she mentioned that with Reed directing, the movie has become more Americanized. This was a short read but has a link to some images from the article. Zap2It interviewed Brett Dalton about his character. Dalton plays Grant Ward in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They spoke about Ward's new position and how he has changed into the character he is now. What a lot of the interview came down to is that Ward is a character constantly looking for closure. The difference now is that he is also looking for closure on behalf of 33. This is a lengthy interview when compared to other articles, but it gave more insight on Dalton's character. Hayley Atwell attended a Q&A at Comicpalooza. She talked about her career, Agent Carter Season 2, writing, feminism, not getting Peggy Carter on her superheroine quiz, and fun on the set. When talking about Agent Carter, she mentioned that her character is going to be a bit lighter because Carter is moving on with her life and not focusing on her past. She also stated that Agent Carter will be 10 episodes. This video is about 27 minutes long. Many more photos of Captain America Civil War have appeared on the internet. Most of these photos are of the set and actors. Not all pictures are displayed here. Jeremy Renner has posted a photo of him in a chair with the new Civil War logo. There is another image floating around showing a pamphlet of Peggy Carter's funeral. This last image may be a fake, but it seems to have a high probability that it is real. Chris Pratt was interviewed by GQ. In this interview, he talks about a variety of topics. He talks about his past roles, family, Jurassic World, bowel movements, etc. One thing he did briefly mention is Guardians of the Galaxy. He talked about how James Gunn has briefly talked to him about the sequel, and he talked about his contract. He states that he is contracted to do 2 more Guardians movies plus another couple. This may mean 2 Guardians movies and 2 appearances in other Marvel films. Overall, this was a lengthy read, but did have a lot of information about Chris Pratt. Ava DuVernay was asked about her talks with Marvel by AJC.com. She simply replied, "I don't know what you're talking about." AJC.com says that she said this with a kind of lighthearted, secretive tone. ComicBook.com shared information that the X-Men Days of Future Past Road Cut will feature a sneak peek of Fantastic Four. People will be able to see this in the special feature section of the Blu-ray. Most likely it will be online after the Road Cut is released on July 14th. A MovieTickets.com commercial was released that shows the Fantastic Four. In this commercial they show each of the members' newly attained powers. This commercial is less than a minute long. A new international trailer came out for Fantastic Four. The trailer is very similar to the US version but gives the viewers a better look at the Thing and Susan Storm going invisible. Other than the sequence of the clips, it is not that much different. Ryan Reynolds was interviewed by news.com.au. In this interview, he talks about Woman in Gold and Deadpool. He was asked about his previous Deadpool role before talking about Woman in Gold. When talking about Deadpool again, he mentioned that Hugh Jackman did show interest in appearing in the movie, but it will all depend on his scheduling. This interview was short and easy to read. Ryan Reynolds shared photos on Instagram of a boy named Tony Acevedo. Tony is currently fighting Hodgkin's lymphoma. He met Deadpool on the set through a Make-A-Wish fulfillment. Reynolds let Tony put on the Deadpool mask and gloves. Reynolds joins a list of on-screen heroes who work to bring joy to children's faces. ComicBookMovie.com shared an image from Empire Magazine. This is an official photo of Deadpool on set in Vancouver. This photo is divided into two images. Monkeys vs. Robots interviewed Oscar Isaac. They talked about Ex Machina, Star Wars, and X-Men Apocalypse. He spoke a lot about Ex Machina and could not say anything about Star Wars. He did confirm that he did start filming and how he prepared for his role. He also stated that he has seen how he looks in full makeup but cannot talk about the details about the makeup or the movie. He then goes on to share about the similarities and differences between working on the three movies. The interview portion of the podcast lasts about 12 minutes. Michael Fassbender was interviewed by MTV News. In this interview, he talks about working with Cody Smith-McPhee in Slow West. When talking about X-Men Apocalypse, he says that he's excited and also dreads wearing shoulder pads. He then talks about his contract. He says that his contract is ending after this movie, but he is interested in moving forward. He lastly talks about dancing and how he does not know who will win in a dance-off, him or Oscar Isaac. This interview is under 4 minutes long. In other X-Men related news, the hairdresser on X-Men Apocalypse, Felix LeRiviere, answered a question on Twitter. The question was asking about Psylocke's hair color. He answered that it will be purple. ComicBookMovie.com shared X-Men Apocalypse concept art. This image shows Cyclops and Jean Grey battling someone in a wrecked city. It was also pointed out that they are wearing uniforms similar to the ones in All New X-Men. For our last news story, That Hashtag Show shared information about Norman Osborn in the MCU. They state that Marvel is eyeing Matthew McConaughey to play the role of Norman Osborn. That Hashtag Show goes on to specify that this is a rumor from a reliable source. Well, that's our news for this week. Like usual, there are more stories in the links below that we didn't mention due to them not having an effect on the movies or they're just speculations. These stories include Daredevil's costume design, an interesting interview with Toby Leonard Moore from Daredevil, George Clooney almost being Nick Fury, MCU's timeline explained with GIFs, things that will not be seen in Civil War, photos of Tristan Ritter on set, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 being on Netflix soon, Asa Butterfield deleting information on Reddit, and a short interview with Deadpool's creator Rob Liefeld. For more information on any of these news topics, click on the links in the description below. Also, please leave a comment if you have any questions or information that I may have left out. You can also tweet me at MarvelMovieFan0. Subtitles are available in English and sometimes in terribly translated Spanish. If you haven't, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. If you dislike this video, please let me know why. Thank you all for watching and thank you to those who have served and are serving the United States. Bye.